In the summer of 2019, the Harbor Student Ministries went on a trip to the Los Angeles Dream Center. The goal was centered around helping the local communities with a strong emphasis on growing closer to God. After a week of handing out food, packing bags, and sorting clothes, I felt as though I was capable of making a difference. But I wanted to know, what was that experience like for others? So I reached out to some of the people on that trip and asked to interview them about what the experience was like for them. Here is what I found.
I think my favorite memory was we were in Compton. We were in one of the neighborhoods, and there's like these apartments, and our job was to walk around and give out flyers for what the Dream Center was doing, and to invite them to come for like Dream Center services. And there was this little girl who was riding her scooter, and she fell, and we were talking to one of the neighbors who was not related to the girl at all. And the woman like stood up from her chair, went and scooped up this little crying kid and just held her. And I remember we kind of looked and we were like, "Do you know her?" And she's like, "No, I don't. But like she lives in my neighborhood, so like I'm gonna take care of her like she's my own." And I remember thinking about that and putting into context like loving our neighbors and what does that mean, and like in our context, we would have never done that. If a kid fell in the street, we'd be like, "Where are your parents?" But this woman like took this kid like she was her own, even though she doesn't know her. So I think that might be one of my favorites.
My favorite memory from the Dream Center was probably Kids Jam, which is when we went to a neighborhood in downtown LA, low-income neighborhood, and we basically did a vacation Bible study for like the kids, and so we like played games with them, sang with them, did like a little like story worship time or Bible time, and it was just really cool to see like all the kids come, and like they all came from very different circumstances that like I grew up in, most of my friends grew up in, and so just to see them so happy and like have so much fun and being able to learn about God was just really cool.
Let's see. I think the biggest challenge for me on the Dream Center trip it was my first time going on a service trip like this as a leader and kind of leading a group down there and trying to figure out what was my role or purpose in leading the group, but also engaging in service for myself. And so how does like navigating the difference between like me jumping in and doing something or leaving room and what might feel like awkward opportunity for someone else to jump in and get the opportunity to serve. But I think one of the challenging parts was knowing when to step in and knowing when to give other people opportunity to jump in as well.
The biggest challenge I faced was coming to recognize that we're all the same, and everybody is human, and everybody is equal, and everybody's the same in God's eyes. And again, when I was praying for Tammy, I looked at her and I felt, there was really no difference between us in God's eyes. Although she has a different financial situation and living situation than I do, in God's eyes, we're both equal, and that really helped me express myself and pray for her in a way that I felt really made a connection.
It really did. It really opened my eyes to how people really struggle and what they go through, and sleeping in tents, and not having a lot of privacy as much as we do. So it's just a struggle for me to really look at a person, like that. And it's I think it just really opened my eyes and just told me, hey, you got to really be grateful for the things you have and really appreciate the things you've got. And I think that's one of the things that really opened my eyes to, and just helping the community in general and giving out to people, and just, if we see someone that's in need, that we always give them food and water and whatever they need, and, just give them a conversation, even a smile or a hi or anything can make their day. And, so, they're humans too as well. So, they're like me and they're like you. So, that's what really opened my eyes and really helped me with my faith. And, yeah.
I think my faith specifically from the Dream Center trip was really just kind of inspired by the way that the rest of the team and our students here at the church were able to engage and deeply be a part of the service team. And for me, that just really inspired me as a leader and as an adult, but also just as a Christian, to see everyone around me being courageous and serving and jumping in was something that really inspired me to want to do the same, and really shapes the way that I kind of see how we function as a group now today, kind of when I think of the group as a whole.
All in all, the trip left a vast impact on those who went on it. From being able to make a difference to watching yourself grow into a new faith, the Dream Center has helped us all get closer to who we want to be. And that is priceless.
Process piece, it's what we walk away with. I think one of the other things that I would have done differently, that I think we've not kept up our end of the bargain, is I think every time we've gone, we've come back with the sentiment of, we could do this in our neighborhood, and we don't. Every time, we don't do it. I think small things change. I think we think about things a little differently. But I think that's something that I would do differently, is I would almost set up, after going once, I would set up things when we come back. This is what we're going to do. This is the lasting impact.